your boy Gomi. We're going to be looking at the last fight on the main card, which is going to be Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. This fight is a little bit of a weird one. Both fighters are fighters that I was really high on, really keen on, and then they both did stupid things or did a lot of stupid things to make me sour on them a little bit. Walker's made a little bit of a comeback, but I still don't trust his chin, and I never will trust that chin. Paul Craig, he's on the poop list for his last performance. So, how is this fight going to be going? First, let's get a little bit into the tale of the tape. Paul Craig, this is going to be a light heavyweight bout. Paul Craig's going to be 35 years of age. He's going to have a record of 16 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 3 knockouts, 13 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, if we can even call that, 76-inch reach disadvantage. That's a massive one, especially a light heavyweight division. 1.83 takedown average, 59.64% significant strike accuracy. He is going to be a plus 160 underdog, which I kind of agree with. He boasts significant wins over Nikita Krylov, Jamal Hill, the guy fighting for the title on the card, Shogun Rua, and Magomed Ankalaev, the guy who just last fought for the title. Yes, Paul Craig has some good wins. But we'll get into it. He's going to be facing Johnny No Chin Walker, 30 years of age, 19 wins, 7 losses, 15 knockouts, 3 submissions, 6'6" in terms of height. He is a big boy. He's a freak of nature. He's honestly, Johnny Walker reminds me a lot of a cartoon character of how he is. Orthodox stance, 82-inch reach advantage. That's disgusting. 0.83 takedown average, a 65.88% significant strike accuracy, negative 190 favorite, significant wins over Ian Cutelaba, Ryan Spahn, and Khalil Rountree. He doesn't have as boisterous a resume as you would think, honestly. Why? Because Johnny Walker gets knocked out all the time by people who he shouldn't get knocked out against. First, let's get into Paul Craig. Paul Craig has some significantly good wins. He has some really good wins, but he has a lot, and I mean a lot of problems. Per example, he is clearly a submission guy. 13 submissions. He's landed 3 takedowns. Do you know what the problem is? He's one of those stereotypical jiu-jitsu guys. Like, think of the Simpsons meme where basically he gets on his back and says, "Oh, fall into my guard and you're doomed." He does that in every fight. He pulls guard. He pulls guard. You know what? Paul Craig would be such a vicious and far more dangerous fighter is if he learned wrestling. Like, I believe, because he also has no striking too. His striking is not all that. For how many fights he's had and only 280 strikes landed, only 606 strikes attempted across, what is that? I can't do math. I'm not going to embarrass myself. 22 fights? That's low. He's got a low striking percentage. The reason being is because he focuses on his jiu-jitsu game. Fine. That's cool. That's great. There are lots of people in the UFC that are jiu-jitsu fighters that focus on getting the opponent to the ground. Like Charles Oliveira. But you want to try Oliveira gets opponents to the ground? Either he drops them or he gets dropped. He fights recklessly with his striking. And either they knock him down, fall into his guard, executes them, or he drops them. I don't want to criticize Paul Craig's game too much because really it's just his last fight. His last fight against Volkan Oezdemir was just not a good showing. He really had nothing for Oezdemir because Oezdemir figured him out. Craig is a one-trick pony, and he simply is. Some people get like surprised by it. Krylov, Jamal Hill himself. Well, granted, that was more so a knockout, but if he got him down and basically broke his arm. People get surprised by it. Shogun Rua, the biggest one, honestly, is Magomed. Where is he at? That's been a while ago. That's Magomed's only loss. And look at that. This is a 3-round fight, by the way. Look at that. I know Magomed probably beats himself up at night for that. but they get surprised by a jiu-jitsu game. He lulls them into it to remember, to make them think, I have no striking, I have no takedowns. They get him down to the ground. Surprise, he's a jiu-jitsu god, and he takes them out. I think Johnny Walker is going to be smarter about that. Now let's get into Johnny Walker and his problem. Johnny Walker used to be, he's kind of getting back to it, but used to be an exciting, flashy, and dynamic fighter with he would attack at very tricky angles. He throws some really good stuff. And the thing is too, he has power and he has a very long reach. So he'd be able to throw these insane combos from a distance, or he's just staying attacks from a distance, and people wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But what's his problem? First problem he has is he has no chin. He got chinned by Hill. He's been chinned in other fights as he has. Corey Anderson, he gets chinned all the time. There was a fight before he went to UFC where he basically got knocked out 4 times in that fight before the fight was ended. And it's just insane. Like, homie, you need to work on your chin. Just do those exercises where you just get punched in the face repeatedly and just pray you don't get slept. My God. Regardless, the main issue too then is his fight IQ. He is a fighter very heavily reliant on what his corner, his coach says. I believe for his last couple fights, I believe with fights with Santos and Hill, and even Span maybe, I can't remember, but I believe he swapped over to John Kavanaugh's corner. And I just remember them in the fight against Thiago Santos, they just kept going feint, and he just kept fainting, and he never threw anything. Also, don't forget when he dislocated his shoulder doing the worm at 230, UFC 235 against, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name, but here you go. He won the fight, did a celebratory dance, did the worm, and dislocated his shoulder. Yeah, that led to a lot of issues with him in his career, but he's done stupid things and he's done stupid maneuvers. I want to like him. He's goofy, he's weird, and I want to like him because he's had some really good knockouts, some really good fights. I love Khalid Rountree, but man, he devastated him using his long reach, a beautiful tie clinch, and just comboed it with two, not even a lot, but just 2 brutal elbows that just took him out, that just eliminated him. But man, I think this is a good fight for him though. I'm looking at this is a good fight for him because Craig, he does not have the wrestling still. In fact, he's just been talking about striking. He's been talking about his improved striking. He's gonna show people. I've never seen him flatline KO people. I don't think he has the power that someone like Jamal Hill or Corey Anderson has to be able to knock out Johnny Walker. And that's the thing, Johnny Walker's striking is going to be far better than Paul Craig working on striking for a couple months since the last London card. Johnny Walker's striking is very good. I don't think he's going to expose him. Johnny Walker also is pretty good on the ground. He doesn't go to the ground a lot, doesn't have a huge takedown, doesn't have a huge amount of takedowns. He only has, I believe, two complete takedowns. So he has 100% takedown accuracy, but really, he's not a takedown guy. He did just get a submission against Cutelaba, but that's because Cutelaba has negative fight IQ and fights like a meathead. I don't know why he does that. He fights like a brain-dead meathead, and that fight flashed like nothing. Craig, I feel, is going to try his new and improved striking, and he's probably going to get knocked out, honestly. I think Walker is going to be smart now. He's got a new corner, new coaches. They're going to say, hey, you knock him down, stand him right up, and you're going to knock him up again. If Johnny Walker knocks him down and goes into his guard, he can get screwed. But if he just knocks him down, just tell him to get right back up. And that's it. Because honestly, that's the thing. Craig's going to try his new striking, get knocked down, and then he's just going to keep getting let up, and Walker's just going to keep knocking him down. Walker's not going to go to his guard. Craig's does still. I doubt he has any wrestling. And even if he does, Walker is massive. I don't think you're taking him down. And I don't think he's got any standing submissions in his arsenal. He might. Who knows? As of right now, I agree with the betting odds perfectly. Craig has something maybe, but he's an underdog. And I'm going to lean towards Johnny Walker. I hope, as long as Johnny Walker keeps pushing on these flashy performances like he has been, just keep has been, I mean, against Kutalaba. Really, that's it. But as long as he just goes back to the old Johnny Walker, I like him. I like him. Regardless, what the heck? I just realized my butchering of light heavyweight. Did I? Yeah, I butchered that. Don't look at that. Regardless, this has been your boy Gomi. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this fight, and let me know what you think of the card overall. This has been Gomi once again. Bye-bye.